Okay, I am here in Task Cards Part 1 Google form. Be sure you read the information right here. It's some helpful reminders on the add rules. Same signs add, keep the sign, different signs subtract, and keep the larger. If you are subtracting a negative, we would say slash slash, and those negatives would become positives. So subtracting a negative is actually addition. And number one here, task number one is talking about mountains. And it says the easiest trail to the top of Mount Blister is 8 miles long. Tony and Chad are planning the trip up the mountain. It says last year they covered 4 miles on day one and 3 miles on day two. On day three, they went back down the trail 2 miles to recover from the altitude sickness. And on day number four, they hiked up the mountain 1.5 more miles. Where were they at the end of day four? Okay, so day one, they covered 4 miles. So they went up 4 miles on day number one and 3 miles on day two. So I got 4 plus 3. Okay, on day three, they went back down. So they're going down 2 miles. So I'm going to subtract 2 miles. And on day four, they hiked up 1.5 more miles. So I'm going to add 1.5 more miles. So where are they at the end of day four? Well, let's add all these numbers up. Okay, let's do 4 plus 3 first. 4 plus 3 I know is 7. Okay, then I need to subtract 2 and add 1.5. I'm basically bringing those numbers, bringing the minus 2 down, bringing the positive 1.5 down. Okay, now I have 7 minus 2. 7 minus 2, of course, is 5. And I still need to add the 1.5. And 5 plus 1.5 would be 6.5. Okay, so I'm 6.5 miles up the mountain. So I need to choose the option that says 6.5 miles up the mountain. So that'd be option C right here. Number two, task number two is about hiking trails. It says right here, enter your answer as a number only. So be sure when you type your answer in, you're putting in only a number and not a label, like something like miles. It's just so that it will count it correct. So it says the hikers decide on the location for their base camp. They'll start their climb at 2 miles below base camp. Okay, so it's over here. Let's say this is, I'll say BC. That's base camp. And they're going to start 2 miles below. Okay, so let's just say if this is like 0 right here, this is base camp. 2 miles below, let's say this is -2. 2 miles below. The negative sign means below. It goes on to say by the end of the third day, they plan to be 4 miles above base camp. So if this is base camp, they plan to be 4 miles above base camp. And the question is, what is the difference between this goal of 4 miles and their current starting location of -2? Well, how far is it from 2 miles below base camp to base camp? So basically, how far is it from here to here? Well, that would be 2 miles, right? Then how far is it from base camp to 4 miles? Well, that would be 4, right? So if I go 2 miles and then 4 more miles, well, I've gone 6 miles altogether. And so that would be the difference from where they are at and their goal. So in the box right here, enter only the number 6. Number 3, task 3 is about mountainous locations. Again, enter your answer as a number only. It says Hot Springs is 4.3 miles up the trail from base camp, and Juniper Hollow is 1.5 miles below base camp. What is the difference between these locations? This problem is very similar to number 2. Number 4, task number 4 is about football. Football team made the following gains on 4 plays. They gained 14 yards. I know they went forward 14 yards because this is a positive number. Then they went backward 32 yards. I know they went backward because of the negative sign. Then they went forward 3 and then backward 19. And the question is, what was the net change in position of the Vultures as a result of the 4 plays? Well, I need to add all of these yardages up. So they went forward 14, back 32, then they gained 3, then they lost 19. Okay, so I need to add these numbers up and put my answer into the box as only a number. Number 5, I have 4 months and it shows me the net profit of those 4 months. And the question is, what is the net profit for the 4-month period? So all these net profits, I need to add those up, and that would be my answer. Number 6, task number 6 is about a checking account. Bongo had a balance of this much in his checking account, and during the week he wrote checks for this amount, and this amount. And if you're writing a check, of course, you're paying that money. And so if you start with $345.28, you'll need to subtract this check, subtract this check, and subtract this check. Okay? And then it tells us that he made a deposit. Now, a deposit, remember, is money goes into your account. So after you pay these three, after you write these 3 checks, you will need to add $56. Okay? So I'm going to have $345.28 minus $65.08 minus $24.50 minus $118.95 plus 56, because when you deposit, money goes into your account, so you're going to add. So you need to figure out what is the final balance, and that's what you're going to put in the answer box. Again, as a number only, no $sign. Task 7, about hitting the slopes. Cross-country skier made the following changes in altitude during the 5-hour period. He went up 28 meters, so that's a positive 28. He went up. Then he went down 124, so I'm going to subtract 124. Then he went down 40, so I'm going to subtract 40 more. Then he went up 75, so add 75. And he went down 225, so subtract 225. And the question is, what was the skier's net change? I need to add all these numbers up, and that would be my answer. Enter your answer as a number only. Number 8 is about the bus stop. At the first stop, the bus picked up 17 people. So 17 people get on. At the next stop, 12 got on. So I'm going to add 12 because 12 more people got on. But also 7 got off. So I'll take 7 off of the bus. At the third stop, 21 people got on. So let's add 21 because 21 are getting on. And 13 got off. So I'm going to subtract 13. 13 people get off. At the fourth stop, 5 people got on. So I'm going to add 5. 5 people got on, and 18 got off. So subtract 18. Now I'll add all these numbers up. Okay, I could just go from left to right, or I could add my positives first. Let's add the positives first. I'm going to put a box around the positives. Here's 17 and positive 12. What is 17 plus 12? Well, that would be 29. Okay, here's another positive number. This is positive 21. I know it's positive because of that plus sign. So 17 and 12 we said was 29. 29 plus 21, that would be 50 plus 5 more. What's 50 plus 5? Well, that's 55. Okay, so I have 55 positives. Now let's add my negatives. Okay, so I have negative 7 and negative 13. I'm putting negatives in circles. So what's negative 7 and negative 13? Well, same signs add, keep the sign. That's going to be negative 20. And then negative 20 minus 18, again, same signs add, keep the sign. Negative 20 minus 18, that's negative 38. So I'm going to put minus 38. And then finally, I subtract 55 minus 38, and that would give me my answer of, it should be 17. Number 9, I'm just going to find the value of this expression, number 9, and find the value of this expression in number 10. Number 10 here, notice how they're all negative numbers. That's a negative, that's a negative, and that's a negative, right? Because the sign in front of them. So same signs, add, and keep the sign. Back in number 9, if I add my negatives first, like negative 7 and negative 15, well, same signs, add, keep the sign. That's going to be negative 22, but I still need to add 12. So negative 22 plus 12, that's going to give me my answer in or for number 9. Okay. Once you submit, view your score. If you miss any, click Edit Response to fix the ones that you missed. Okay, I want you to fix the ones that you missed so that eventually you will get all the problems correct.